Well, it happened. I actually did not think it would actually happen, but it happened. Halo Reddit has been shut down temporarily just for this weekend, and things are kind of spinning out of control. So, as we've been following this, drama, this saga about the XP progression, the battle pass, the microtransactions and stuff, Sketch, the community director at 343, posted this huge essay paragraph thing, which I broke down in my previous video. Definitely go watch it. It's definitely worth the watch. It talks about the cost of microtransactions. It talks about, all the problems people are having, including the playlist. But now, Reddit Halo is being shut down, and they posted their own little essay. These won't get old, will they? I'm definitely going to have to read this so you guys are up to snuff. But essentially, in a nutshell, it's been shut down, right? So this is actually from Halo Reddit themselves. They say, on all sides, this has absolutely gone on long enough and spiraled out of control. The amount of toxicity on the sub from both sides has made it impossible for people to have civil discussions, which is what the mod team strives for regardless of opinion. Some users on the sub have been responsible for doxing. We've temporarily put them on lockdown so people can hopefully settle down a bit and we can hit the reset button before launch. At the end of the day, this is a video game, and this level of vitriol is unwarranted. Take the weekend off. We're reopening on Monday. So I just want to talk quickly about that. I do feel like people that are negative towards what is going on right now are the ones that are being the loudest and the most toxic. I'm not saying everyone, and I'm not invalidating anyone here. I don't like what's going on here. I'm just saying that pretty much the negativity of this game being bad is the stronger one by far. I have seen people be toxic in defense of 343, but it's quite a stretch to say that both sides have spiraled out of control. I think mainly is the negativity, which maybe I'm partly responsible for. I've been talking very negative about Halo, but there is a line, and that line was crossed recently. Speaking of which, they talk about the insults. The primary thing the mod team cares about is limiting insults and toxicity because it makes it impossible to have the actual conversation. This cuts both ways, whether you are happy or unhappy with the game as is. Someone criticizing the game doesn't mean you get to say that they're an entitled crybaby man-child. Someone saying they're fine with the game or give it some time doesn't mean you can call them a bootlicking, yeah. And all these things the mod team has dealt with and will continue to deal with. If you see people breaking our rules, don't make things worse by breaking the rules yourself. So they talk about not breaking the rules and criticism. Despite what some people want and despite what other people think we already do, we are never going to remove all criticism or relegate all of its mega threads. Mega threads and focused feedback threads are useful for reducing spam and getting rid of low effort critiques that don't warrant their own threads, but pushing everything into mega threads would vastly reduce when gets traction. The changes of XP progression and confirmation of new playlists wouldn't have happened without the community publicly making their own opinions known. At the same time, we are going to get rid of lower effort and duplicate critique threads. The entire front page doesn't need to be spammed by 20 of the same threads. All right, so they say this, and I feel like a lot of the front page, and I'm not a mod, I don't know what goes in, with their work specifically. I'm not sitting here all day looking at all the 100 posts every second and trying to kind of filter and work through that and make sure there's not repetitiveness on the front page. But I think saying that the page is too repetitive is not really a good excuse of shutting down the Reddit. I think it's just the fact that obviously the game is having trouble, and maybe I don't. So I like this and I hate this. I don't think shutting down people's freedom of speech is really going to stop the criticism. I think all this toxicity is probably going to pour out on Twitter, maybe even YouTube, but that requires a bit more effort. So maybe it'll just go onto the forums, and then, Waypoint is going to have to start dealing with, I'm not quite sure what a lot of people in the Halo community use for forums or what these more negative posts are going into. I think that I don't like the lack of freedom of speech. I do like the idea of everyone being forced to just take a second to reflect on all the negativity, and I talked about the toxic comments beginning, and I've been negative for sure. I've probably been toxic many times as well. No doubt about it, actually. But I will say that there is a line to cross. When you start talking about, I don't know, them saying like bringing up all these kind of really weird kind of ideas about like manipulation and gaslighting, I feel like maybe that becomes a line, a line that should not be crossed. Obviously, I shouldn't even have to say it, the doxing insanity of just like beating down on these developers and community managers and the individuals that created this game, I think lacks a lot of maturity. There is certainly a place, obviously, for criticism. I will always say that you should be able to criticize. However, it's when the insults and when it starts getting personal, right? Obviously, even Sketch just said the other day that his job is to actually do exactly this, to listen to the community and deal with the negativity and the criticism. And he's not a victim, right? As he said himself, he's not a victim. He is simply someone that is hired for a job, and he is doing his job. Here we are doing our job, right? We're reflecting on Halo in a respectful, civil way, right? Now, I get heated sometimes. I ask questions with vigor and enthusiasm and oftentimes anger, like why is the things the way they are? And I talk in the way that I do about Halo because I'm passionate, because I'm a fan, but also because we're in Halo. When you're watching these videos, you're in the mood for Halo. You're listening to Halo content, and that's just where your headspace is, But some people lose their headspace of reality, touching grass, getting outside, and remembering that this is just a video game. You have to have that perspective, because if you look at this and think that this is everything there is to life, and you begin to victimize yourself and come up with a whole story and narrative and pretend that not even pretend, just feel like you know exactly what is happening with 343, that's what spawns insults and personal attacks and I don't know how people even rationalize doing this, but maybe they think of it as a joke or just like an insult plus a little bit more aggression, and that's just absurd to me. Absolutely absurd. And it's not most people. I did not see any of this on Reddit Halo. So in a way, I have to say Reddit Halo is just really a great place to see everything that people are thinking about Halo in the current moment, the current mood, but it becomes this echo chamber of toxicity. And I've seen this before. It's just ramping up, getting more and more and more, negative. And people are just feeding on that negativity. It feeds people's ego when you compare yourself in a sense that like they're so stupid. When you say someone's stupid or say someone's bad, what you're also saying is that you're not stupid and you're not bad. You're smart and you're good. That's what is baked with every insult, is an ego boost, right? You cannot insult someone without trying to make yourself feel better about yourself, right? That's what an insult is. You are implying that someone else is worse than you in some other way. So that's why I'm saying that this has completely escaped actually it being a video game, and more so has become this very negative thought cycle people get into, and then it just feeds into it more and more and more and more. And if you think I'm a shill, that's fine, right? You can see my videos. I have always, always, always complained. I have said good things when everyone has thought bad things about Halo, and vice versa. No one wanted to listen to me when I talked bad about Halo a few months ago, or when I said the XP progression system was going to be bad. And when it dropped, when the hype was over, when hype season's over, now the honeymoon phase is over, people are beginning to fester in this negativity. And that's why I decided to make this post where I reminded everyone, look, this game, despite its terrible microtransactions, is more focused on pay for cosmetics, no pay to win mechanics. The gameplay is universally loved. Everyone loves it. I know there's critiques, but generally everyone loves it. And all these changes, all the battle pass, the XP progression system has already been addressed in a way that is okay. It's still pretty rough, but it's okay. And the microtransaction store, admittedly, is getting weird and expensive and bad, but it isn't ruining the core gameplay. And the only reason why you would care about customization is for the core gameplay. And let's just remind ourselves that we have good core gameplay right now, right? So I'm probably crazy. If you disagree with me, let me know down in the comment section below, or dislike this video. Or if you do, let me know your thoughts and like this video and subscribe as always, and join me on the journey. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.